Tonight on Nightline, Obama and Clinton. As the former rivals campaigned together in Florida, they agreed to their first joint interview right here on Nightline. Breaking news, Barack Obama says he'll put his campaign on hold for 2 days to visit his seriously ill grandmother in Hawaii. And X-Files declassified. British defense officials released 1,500 pages of secret documents about UFO sightings and extraterrestrials. So, is the truth really out there?
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran, Martin Bashir, and Cynthia McFadden in New York City, this is Nightline, October 20th, 2008.
Good evening. There's late news tonight from the presidential campaign trail. Barack Obama's 85-year-old grandmother, Madeline Dunham, is gravely ill. So ill that Obama will cancel 2 days of campaigning from Thursday to return to Hawaii to see her. This has come at a critical moment. There are just 2 weeks until Election Day. An ABC News poll released today found Obama holding a 9-point advantage among likely voters over rival John McCain. And today in Florida, the largest battleground state, Barack Obama was joined by his former Democratic rival, Hillary Clinton. And perhaps surprisingly, they appeared as the best of friends, as my co-anchor Cynthia McFadden now reports.
Having followed Hillary Clinton around on the campaign trail for the better part of the last 2 years, it seemed pretty obvious when she lost the nomination to Barack Obama and the two of them appeared on the stage together. Well, it had about all the warmth of a shotgun wedding. An unquiet peace had been declared, but it was that, unquiet. We saw something very different today here in Orlando, Florida, where the two senators agreed for the first time to a joint interview. It was a moment many thought would never happen, and certainly not in Florida. And it crackled. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama sharing a stage in Orlando as 50,000 enthusiastically united Democrats cheered them on. Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Hillary Clinton, who not so long ago tried to force the Democratic Party to count her one-sided win here in Florida's primary. Thank you, Orlando! Tonight, those old wounds had been put aside as Clinton stood up and delivered. We need you to work as hard as you can in the next 2 weeks. Many of you supported me in the primary, and I am very grateful and very appreciative of each and every one of you. Now I am asking you to work as hard for Barack as you worked for me. Obama seized the moment.
The main thing I want to do is I want to thank Hillary Clinton. Hillary, 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 Hillary.
And then turned his sights on John McCain.
Misleading mail and TV ads, careless, outrageous statements, all aimed at keeping us from working together, all aimed at stopping change. I mean, it's getting so bad that Senator McCain's running mate denounced his tactics last night. You have to work really hard to violate Governor Palin's standards on negative campaigning.
After the rally, we spoke exclusively with Senator Obama. What can Hillary Clinton do for you in Florida that you can't do for yourself here?
You know, Hillary, I think, is as effective a spokesperson for the Democratic idea, which is that everybody gets a fair shot. That's what she's been fighting for. You know, there are some passionate supporters of hers that, you know, may still be trying to figure out who to vote for. You know, she's got some great crossover appeal, and so, you know, for her to take the time to come down, and she's been consistent in campaigning down here in Florida for us. I think it's part of the reason why we're doing a little better now than we were just a month ago.
You think so? So are we in the real America, the pro-America part of America here in Florida?
You know, as I said in my speech, I haven't been to a spot yet that's not pro-America. People have differences politically, but everybody's a patriot, and that's one of the things that I hope we get back to in our politics if I'm elected president.
You got to be careful.
And then Senator Clinton joined him for their first dual interview ever. Let me say, the last time you two appeared on the stage together, campaigning, was a different time. The raw wound was still a little bit more open in June in New Hampshire. How does it feel today? Still a little awkward, or have we gotten over that awkward period in the relationship?
No, we've had a great campaign.
She's been doing great, and I was just telling her I can't thank her enough for and in places like Florida where she's got so much popularity, she can be a more effective messenger for us than just about anything. So
Are you going to win? Are you going to win down here?
We're going to win. I mean, we are going to win. This campaign has so much momentum for all the right reasons. Not only are people concluding, I think, in their own self-interest that they need Barack as our president, but external circumstances in the economy have focused everybody's attention on what's gone on for the last 8 years. And, you know, what Barack is offering is the kind of change that is needed. It's not just a campaign slogan. It is absolutely at the root of everything he stands for. And the more I campaign across the country, I'm seeing people really make up their minds that they're voting for themselves by voting for Senator Obama.
You look pretty good up there together. Thank you. And that was true. They may not ride off into the sunset together, but tonight, 2 weeks before the presidential election, they genuinely seem to have bonded over their singular mission to put a Democrat in the White House. Like 30 other states, Florida has early voting, and today was the first day of early voting here. Barack Obama would dearly like to have Florida's 27 electoral votes, but John McCain needs them. There is no road to the White House, according to most pundits, except through Florida for John McCain. We'll see what happens in this state. Right now, the polls show the men neck and neck with Obama with a slight lead. Martin?
Cynthia, these are two mightily ambitious people. He won the nomination. She did not. Are you telling me that their friendliness and their camaraderie was really genuine tonight?
Well, of course, I don't know, Martin, and maybe I'm easily persuaded, but it did seem that the tension had gone out of the balloon. The two of them seemed to be joking around together, both when the camera was on and when the camera was off. I can't tell you they're going to be best friends forever, but I can tell you that something significant has changed in that relationship in the course of the last 4 months. At least it seems so to me. Martin?
Cynthia McFadden in Orlando, thank you. And when we come back, Barack Obama's dramatic announcement tonight that he'll leave the presidential trail to visit his very ill grandmother in Hawaii. What will it mean for the race?
What is this? This is a plan to help take the company green.
Green? You mean like light bulbs, recycling?
These guys have covered everything. Data centers, PCs, networking, supply chains, top to bottom.
Cute. But where is the business value in tree hugging?
They could cut our energy costs by as much as 40%.
40%?
40%.
The generation that swore it would never get old didn't. Welcome to the summer of life. New Touch of Gray from Just for Men. Lets you keep a little gray. Works gradually. Easy.
Never trust anybody over 90.
New Touch of Gray.
Sitting still isn't for us, so I needed a pain reliever for my arthritis pain. Then I got something just for my aching shoulder. Oh, different pain relievers. But now, Advil is my every pain reliever. Works wherever I hurt. I'm all Advil.
You won't believe what's new to help people quit smoking. Tomorrow on World News with Charles Gibson.
The fight is fierce. But tomorrow, for one star, the ballroom battle is over.
No way, no how.
Dancing with the Stars, the results live. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on ABC.
Whose corner is Gordon Smith really in? He says Democrats Ted Kennedy and Ron White, even Barack Obama are in his corner. No way! It's Gordon Smith who supported Bush's tax breaks for the wealthy, $4 billion in tax breaks for big oil, and Smith voted against lower prescription drug prices. So don't be fooled. We know whose corner Gordon Smith's really in, and it's not ours. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is responsible for the content of this ad.
Barack Obama credits his grandmother for helping raise him. Tonight we've learned that her declining health will force him to leave the campaign trail later this week and return home to Hawaii to be with her. John Donovan now reports on the relationship between the presidential candidate and the grandmother he calls Toot.
She is in Hawaii tonight, this relatively rarely seen 85-year-old whose own life story, in subtle but profound ways, has imprinted itself upon this election campaign by making the Democratic candidate who he is.
Now, I came from very modest means, and my grandparents raised me, and it was because of the help of scholarships and my grandmother scrimping on things that she might have wanted to purchase.
And so he is heading across the Pacific to be with her, but her story is also mainland and heartland. For Madeline Dunham was born Madeline Payne in rural Kansas, a part of America where nearly every face was white, and so was hers, and not that much had changed in that sense when Obama came to Kansas earlier this year and stopped in a town called El Dorado, where she had married his grandfather, Stanley Dunham. For the candidate, more stories to connect him, African-American, and raised in Hawaii, and named Barack, to this American heartland, and people who look like this.
I was raised with the help of a white grandfather who survived the Depression to serve in Patton's Army during World War II, and a white grandmother who worked on a bomber assembly line at Fort Leavenworth while he was overseas.
There is this sort of American Gothic, small-town America part of me.
But in fact, Kansas was long ago in the family story, and though the house his grandmother lived in still stands in El Dorado, and her mother-in-law lies buried nearby, it was all too long ago for very many people in the town to recall them directly. There's a photo or two that the Town Historical Society has tracked down, but that's Madeline's husband, Stanley. She went to school a few towns away, and so the only real recollections are second or third hand. We happened to be in El Dorado a few days ago talking about her with a group of McCain supporters. They don't like Obama, but one of them, a lawyer named Steve Funk, had heard this.
His grandmother was a fine woman. My boss of 20 years was a friend of hers, knew her, and thought she was a fine woman.
The more surprising it was then when, earlier this year, in a landmark speech, Obama brought her name into the debate over race in America.
A woman who loves me as much as she loves anything in this world, but a woman who once confessed her fear of black men who passed her by on the street, and who on more than one occasion has uttered racial or ethnic stereotypes that made me cringe.
He was arguing that even the best of us can harbor racism, but in that Kansas town, Steve Funk told me,
I thought that was a regrettable statement on his part. Probably did not reflect her views or the views of people who live here either today or 40 or 50 years ago when she lived here.
Perhaps Obama embarrassed his grandmother. We cannot know. We only know that she never stopped supporting him, even making a fleeting appearance in a campaign ad.
Well, I think it's given him a lot of depth and a broadness of views.
She is now all that's left of the two generations that preceded Obama. His parents are dead and all of his other grandparents. And so on the June night, when his primary win put him over the top, finally, he made sure to say this.
Thank you to my grandmother, who helped raise me and is sitting in Hawaii somewhere right now because she can't travel, but who poured everything she had into me and who helped to make me the man I am today. Tonight is for her.
And so are the next several days of his time, the most important of his career, that are taking him west to Hawaii. I'm John Donvan for Nightline in Washington.
Our thanks to John Donovan, and we're joined now by our senior national correspondent, Jake Tapper, who's followed every step of this campaign. Good evening, Jake.
Good evening, Martin.
Do we know any more specific details about Senator Obama's grandmother's health?
Well, we don't know exactly the specific illness. We know she's old. She's 85 years old. She has osteoporosis. She's had some special care now for parts of this year. Senator Obama's half-sister, Maya, they spoke on the phone with Senator Obama last night. She's staying with Madeline Dunham, the grandmother, and she told Senator Obama that he needed to come visit. So we expect this is very serious. And in fact, Senator Obama's senior aide, Robert Gibbs, who spoke to us this evening on the campaign plane, said the fact that Senator Obama is leaving the campaign trail in these closing 2 weeks to spend 2 days in Hawaii underscores just how serious her illness is.
Given the fact that his grandmother raised him from childhood to university age, this must come as a very deep blow at this particular moment.
I think it's difficult for him, absolutely. I mean, from what I understand, some people close to him, he's holding up well. Certainly this is not a surprise. When he went to visit Hawaii, the reason he went to Hawaii in August with his family was because she is getting old, and he wanted to spend some time with her. But obviously, as John mentioned in his piece, this is the last person in the 2 generations preceding Senator Obama. His parents are gone. All other grandparents are gone. So this has got to be very difficult for him.
Jake, he's going to drop out of campaigning for 2 days. That's 2 out of just 14 days left. Very briefly, what effect do you think this will have on the campaign?
Well, it all depends on the chessboard of going state to state. Senator Obama is not going to go to events in Wisconsin and Iowa that he had planned to go to. And now when he comes back, because he's coming from Hawaii on Saturday, his campaign will hit western areas of the country earlier in this last 2-week period than they planned, so it's difficult to stuff it up.
Jake Tapper in Florida, thank you. And we'll be right back.
Sam's nose became redder as the winter wind blew. Mom trusts the Puff's Lab can soothe his achoo. I got Puffs Plus with lotion, he said to Sam's mother, with aloe and E and a touch of shea butter. Plain tissue rubs causing more irritation. Puffs Plus with lotion and shea butter has a soothing sensation. And nose in need deserves Puffs Plus indeed. And try Puffs Plus with the comforting scent of Vicks.
I can't believe I'm beating Billie Jean King.
You're not beating me. In fact, you haven't even got our serve in.
Okay. You might want to take a gander at the scoreboard. Whoa. What's with the Geico sign, Billie Jean? They're sponsoring all this. I get it. I quit, but I get it. Oh, look at that. Hilarious.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Katie Holmes returns to network television.
Lucky me.
ABC's Eli Stone. All new Tuesday, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Tired of being shouted at? Here's the bottom line with no packaging. Oregon's economy is in trouble. Huge job losses. Recession. Jeff Merkley's record, he taxes, spends, and borrows. 44 votes for higher taxes. $5 billion in additional spending, another $1 billion in additional debt. So if it is about the economy, we just can't send Jeff Merkley to the U.S. Senate. The National Republican Senatorial Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This is a district where it's blue-collar folks that work hard. Many of them live and work on the land, just like I do with my family. I've been very concerned about the direction our country's heading and our state's heading. America is not where it should be.
Kurt Schrader's economic plan, affordable health care, job training for renewable energy jobs that can never be outsourced, pay down our debt, and protect Main Street while holding Wall Street accountable.
If you're like me to Congress, I think I can make that difference for you. I'm Kurt Schrader, and I approve this message.
Gordon Smith's support of George Bush's economic policies is draining the middle class. And now things are starting to spiral out of control. With tax breaks that ship jobs overseas, tax cuts for the wealthy, tax giveaways for big oil. Gordon Smith supports flooding the special interest with cash while our economy goes right down the drain. Gordon Smith, stop supporting tax breaks that send jobs overseas. Patriot Majority is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Jeff Merkley, and I approve this message.
Why are Barack Obama and Ron Wyden supporting Jeff Merkley for Senate? Because they know only Merkley represents real change, better health care, jobs, and tax cuts for the middle class. So don't believe Gordon Smith's deceptive ads. Smith votes with George Bush 90% of the time, for the war in Iraq, to overturn Roe versus Wade, and to ship our jobs overseas. Smith can't change his record, and he won't change Washington. Nightline continues from New York City with Martin Bashir.
For more than 2 decades, the archives collected dust hidden from the public by the British government. Some 4,500 pages of documents detailing UFO eyewitness accounts that defense officials recorded and in some cases investigated. But today, light was shone in a dark place when a portion of that archive was declassified. So, did these documents answer the question, are we really alone? Nick Watt now reports.
Lieutenant Milton Torres was ordered to keep silent about what happened. Today, we learned the details. May 20th, 1957, he scrambled his Sabre jets from a base in England with orders to arm all weapons and fire on sight. Before he could fire, the erratic, bright blip on his radar simply disappeared. April 1991, an Italian airline pilot approaching Heathrow saw a craft he described as light brown, similar to a missile. He shouted to his co-pilot, "Look out, look out!" The British government investigated this near miss, but came up with nothing.
There are some cases, and it's about 5%, that can't be explained. They are genuine unknowns.
Nick Pope worked for Britain's Ministry of Defence. His job to investigate UFO sightings.
Overleaf, we have a sketch. Extremely interesting. People are taken seriously. People are listened to. People are believed. And people are prepared to investigate.
11,000 UFO sightings have been reported in Britain since 1959. Records of every one are kept here in the vast National Archive. Only now are the details being revealed.
Conspiracy theories have already started, suggesting, for example, that this is a whitewash, that this is disinformation.
I don't think the ministry has revealed everything by any means. The facts are too disturbing for the majority of the populace. Some of them actually have bases and have had bases on planet Earth for maybe thousands of years.
Any day now, the most contentious file of them all will be opened. The file on Rendlesham Forest, Britain's equivalent of Roswell.
I have no explanation for the Rendlesham Forest incident.
It was Christmas night, 1980. Guards at 2 U.S. Air Force bases in eastern England thought they saw a plane crash in these woods. They investigated and reported a strange glowing object, metallic in appearance. It illuminated the entire forest. The object was hovering or on legs.
There's no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead.
2 nights later, the lights returned.
Weird.
Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt recorded this as he walked through the dark forest.
Bill, it's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. There's no doubt about it. This is weird. There's definitely another two lights. One light to the front and one light to the left. Keep the flashlights off. There's something very, very strange.
Holt's men recorded high radiation levels here at the alleged landing site.
It suggests that this object, whatever it was unusual in nature. Something was physically present in that clearing.
Do you see aliens?
Yes, we have done so, yes.
Brenda Butler and her fellow UFO enthusiasts believe Rendlesham Forest is still an alien destination.
When they come in a load of mist, like just a whole cloud of mist, and you can actually see them standing in the mist.
These are the photographs, but Brenda rarely snaps the aliens she meets.
And they said to us, that they don't like photographs. They don't like the flash.
Right. Because
I mean, if aliens really do want to make contact with our leaders, why would they chat to Brenda in a remote forest?
Ridicule is the principal tool used to discredit the subject.
But, says Good, the time has come. The policy of our government has changed, and releasing these files is key.
The official agenda is, I've been told, on both sides of the Atlantic, is that gradual disclosure has to be the way, and my instinct tells me that disclosure process has begun.
Something's being tracked. Flew off in the direction of Basildon.
We're being primed, and when we're deemed ready to handle the unsettling truth of aliens among us, then all will be revealed.
Have we been attacked?
I think there is a conflict situation.
Very noisy. Interesting.
I'm Nick Watt for Nightline in London.
Interesting indeed. Our thanks to Nick Watt. And when we come back, Sarah Palin is the subject of tonight's closing argument.
ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Sprint.
Ladies and gentlemen, Flight 152 is now boarding to Honolulu.
Check. Business class.
Boarded, man.
Safety check.
This in here, we're out of here.
All right, let's get the show on the road, boys.
Buckle up, dudes. Close it up.
I'm tracking the luggage guys on Sprint.
Loaded.
Lights. Stage.
Roger, you were cleared for takeoff.
Let's rock.
Get work done now. Communicate in less than a second with rugged Nextel Direct Connect phones. Only on the Now Network.
The all-new 375-horsepower Hyundai Genesis can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, which means if it starts now, it will reach 60 miles an hour. Now. Find out more at HyundaiGenesis.com.
Right now, lease an all-new Hyundai Genesis for only $399 a month. ABC Wednesday, Defending the Darling.
Someone you haven't seen in over 30 years.
Means confronting his past.
Your mother's my star witness.
ABC's Dirty, Sexy Money. All new Wednesday, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Senator Gordon Smith, an effective, independent voice for better health care. He stood up to the president and fought to expand health insurance for Oregon's children. He worked with members of both parties to strengthen mental health services and suicide prevention programs. He fought to protect health care access for military families. Gordon Smith, independent, effective, proven. American Medical Association Political Action Committee paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad.
One senator stands at the center of the Senate. One senator reaches out to both parties to find the common ground. With Ted Kennedy on hate crimes, with Barack Obama on renewable energy, and with Ron Wyden every day for Oregon.
It's a question of finding common ground. And Senator Smith, my friend, my partner, always meets me halfway.
I'm Gordon Smith, and I approve this ad.
I've been sent into harm's way before because of unpermitted work. The fact is the building permits and the accompanying safety inspections protect the lives of your family, neighbors, and firefighters. Measure 63 is poorly written and would take away these essential safety measures. Measure 63 would even allow dangerous, unpermitted work on electrical wiring, structural supports, and gas lines. For a safe home and peace of mind, vote no on Measure 63.
Steel, auto, airlines. What do these industries all have in common? Hundreds of thousands of lost jobs and union bosses who helped to put them out of business. If you think the economy's bad now, it could get worse. Union bosses are pushing their own bailout bill in Congress that could force employees to pay union dues against their will. Economists say it will cost jobs and damage the economy. Fight the Employee Forced Choice Act at employeefreedom.org.
In the race for Senate, Jeff Merkley's record is raising taxes. More Tax Merkley voted to raise the state income tax. He voted 3 times for higher taxes on seniors, 4 times for higher taxes on farmers, 4 times to increase the gas tax. More Tax Merkley voted for a tax increase rejected by 60% of Oregon voters. Merkley even voted for the largest tax increase in Oregon history. More Tax Merkley? Not in the U.S. Senate. The National Republican Senatorial Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
K2 News, first at 4, weekday afternoon.
It's time for tonight's closing argument. Republican vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin's appearance on Saturday Night Live this past weekend generated an enormous amount of attention. But the jury is still out. Did Palin's turn on the comedy show help her or hurt her? Tell us what you think by clicking on the Nightline page at abcnews.com. And on tomorrow night's show, a silver lining for consumers in this economic crisis. The cost of oil has fallen nearly 50% per barrel since peaking in midsummer, and the price at the pump continues to drop. The national average was $2.92 per gallon today. But forget average. Tomorrow we go in search of the cheapest gas in America. But that's our report for tonight. I'm Martin Bashir. Terry Moran, Cynthia McFadden, and all of us at ABC News. Good night, America.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is a Klondike Bar. As far as we know, our New York affiliate never found out who the mystery skipper was. They decided, however, that he wasn't floating any particular agenda, just doing his part to get out the vote.
Nightly News is straight ahead with a medical mystery, why more and more members of one minority group are being diagnosed with a serious and debilitating disease.
That and much more next on NBC Nightly News, and we'll see you back here in 1/2 hour.
Real women, real life, real fun. It's the Northwest Women's Show presented by Thriftway. October 24th through 26th at the Oregon Convention Center. Friday, Mom's Day Out, presented by Boogie Wipes. Register for the Motherload giveaway. Saturday, American Family Insurance Main Stage heats up with the Fireman's Fashion Show. Meet soap star Brandon Beamer from The Bold and the Beautiful. Top chefs get cooking on the Oregon Beef Council stage. New this year, ideas for your home and office from IKEA. Plus style tips and beauty products. Visit Thriftway for a $2 off coupon. Go to PortlandWomenShow.com for details.
Tired of being shouted at? Here's the bottom line with no packaging. Oregon's economy is in trouble. Huge job losses. Recession. Jeff Merkley's record, he taxes, spends, and borrows. 44 votes for higher taxes. $5 billion in additional spending. Another $1 billion in additional debt. So if it is about the economy, we just can't send Jeff Merkley to the U.S. Senate. The National Republican Senatorial Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.